Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard, and this one is quite interesting because it's a limited edition in 1/48 scale, and it's actually a dual combo which is called Rufe. So we get the seaplane, it's a Japanese Type 2 seaplane, and which was based on A6 M2 obviously. So in 1/48 scale it's a completely new design, and we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. And in my opinion, this might be a good opportunity to build something different, because we've all seen the Zero, but this one looks slightly, I would say, more sophisticated thanks to these floats. And as I said, we have a commercial sample, so that's the final shape of this kit, and you'll get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. So the box size is quite large. Here is comparison with my hand. Let's not forget that we get a dual combo, so it means there are two kits in one box. And if I flip it to the side here, we have two marking options and two more, so four in total. And I think on the opposite side we have another four marking options. So you will be able to replicate 2 out of those 8. I would say it's a quite nice opportunity. And here we also get some information about the kit. So as you can see, it is focused on aircraft serving in period from 1942 to 1945. And of course we have a standard set of parts and bonuses for the dual combo, so it will be interesting to check them closer. And it's quite interesting, I mean it's quite easy to do so because it's a top opening box, and I'm going to open it right now. Okay, so here is what we have inside. Quite a tight packaging in my opinion, because as you can see here we have really up to the top feel. But let's check it closer. Obviously we will be checking only one set, because those are absolutely identical aircraft models, so there is no point in showing the same sprue again and again, because they carry the same set of parts, as you can guess. Okay, so first of all is the Sprue A. Here we have the clear sprue. It was packed into a separate Ziploc bag, and we have a canopy parts here, and all canopy parts are separate and you can open them. Do not be confused by these parts. These ones will be needed for the closed canopy version. In case you don't want to open the canopy on your aircraft, then definitely go for those parts. But overall molding quality looks really good, and as you can see we have also separate sections which will allow you to open the cockpit. And this is the limited edition, so it means you will get the masks, pre-cut masks in the kit, so you don't have to worry about any additional issues. Next we continue with the first plastic bag with gray plastic sprues. So here it is. It's a resealable plastic bag, so you can later store some parts here, especially considering the fact that we get the dual combo, so you definitely need such possibility to set some parts aside. Okay, so first gray plastic sprue is the Sprue L. So here we have wing parts, and I will zoom out and maybe open the lenses a bit. So you can notice that we have a classic wing parts division. We have separate ailerons here, but the flaps are pre-molded. I guess flaps will have to be bought separately. Also external features are somewhat standard for Eduard modern kits. It means rivets, recessed panel lines, everything is present here. And just to give you a better idea, I will zoom in, and now you can take a closer look with your own eyes. In my opinion, this is really impressive for a 1/48 scale aircraft, and this is definitely one of the best Zero models and Rufe models on the market. So if I flip it over here, you can check it from the opposite side. Note that for the flaps we have the thinned plastic, so it will be easier to cut off this area and replace it with the aftermarket PE set, which is sold separately. Okay, I will place this sprue to the side, and next we continue with another sprue, which is the Sprues T. Here we get quite an interesting thing. I guess those are the parts for the float and also for the special stand, which will be used in order to display the aircraft, because otherwise it will be really tricky to balance it. We also get some cockpit parts here and the propeller, obviously. And if I flip it over here, you can check it from the opposite side. As for the aircraft stand, here we have really nice rivets. So if I zoom in and show you closer this part, I hope you will understand what I'm talking about. But again, really nice design, and if we get this special stand included, so it's double great, I would say, because you will have something to display your aircraft on, so nothing to be worried about. Now you can hear I'm opening the second plastic bag, so let's put this sprue to the side, and here we get the sprues with the fuselage parts. So it's the Sprues G, and as you can see, these are two fuselage halves. They are somewhat classic in design, so it means you get the two sprues which are molded together with the tail fin, a separate bonnet area. As you can see, this part will be used as the template for the bonnet panels because they are separate and you have to combine them together in the right way. And also we have tail wings, which should be glued out of two halves, but no worries, we have guiding elements here and there, so it will be easier to combine everything together. And also we have some minor features in the cockpit area, but there will be more with help of separate parts, as you remember. And again, just to give you a better idea of the fuselage details, here is the closer look at both parts, as well as maybe some cooling areas here and here. So it's just a matter of careful assembly of all these parts together and you have a really nice result. And I saw some of the finished Zero models on the exhibitions, so they were really nice. I saw some standard out-of-the-box builds, and I would say they are quite enough, I would say, to get the really nice model in a 1/48 scale. Next, I'm opening one more plastic bag, so here we get, I would say, the last set of sprues. So just give me a second because everything is trying to fall down here. So it's a Sprues U. This one is specific for today's aircraft version because here we get floats for the main float, for the wing floats. And again, we get it as a double set so that you can assemble two aircraft with this quite unusual thing. And let's flip it over because yes, there are guiding pins. I was wondering if they are present here, but there are, let's say, designed inside, so you can combine these parts together without worrying that something will be misaligned and you'll get ugly result. Okay, next we continue with the Sprues D. This one is the last gray plastic sprue. And here we also get some interesting stuff. First of all, it is really cool that Eduard decided to include, I would say, highly detailed engine here. So you don't have to go all the way for the brassing. I think for some modelers this will be more than enough, especially considering the fact that we also have the P parts here. So it means you add even more features with help of thin P parts, which we will take a look in a few seconds. And also the cockpit, well, it's pretty much the same story because we get some P parts for the cockpit and you can add them for even more fine details. But let's not just talk about it, let's check it with our own eyes. So here we have pre-painted P fret, and you can notice that we have mix of various parts. Obviously one fret is for one aircraft, so we get two of those. And I would say it's a classic Eduard product, so there is nothing to be worried about in terms of quality. It's just a matter of careful application. Next, we continue with the mask sheet. So we get pre-cut masks for both aircraft. And I'm going to open them right now. So it's a classic, I would say, Eduard bonus as well. We have pre-cut masks, so they're ready to be used straight away. I guess these large circles will be used for the Hinamaru. And this is really interesting because before Eduard was suggesting to use it as a decals, and I can see that we still get the decals. So just give me a moment. I will open the separate plastic bag with decals. There are 3 sheets of the different decals for 8 marking options, as you remember. So let's start with the, let's say, main one, because here we get all the large symbols. And of course it is printed in Eduard. So if I zoom out here, you can see what I'm talking about. We have really nice printing quality. I'm not sure about the red shade of this Hinamaru decals. I'm not also sure that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, because camera may be slightly distorting the shade of this color. But of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about the overall color shade which should be used for those symbols. And next we continue with 2 decal sheets for the stencils. Obviously I will show you only one because they are absolutely similar, and we get the stencils here, so each aircraft will be covered with all those writings. And this is really nice. In 1/48 scale, stencils are noticeable, so that's why do not be lazy and apply them all on your aircraft. Next we have the assembly manual. So here you can see that this is a typical color printed brochure, I would say somewhat familiar for Eduard, but note that in the limited edition we get a short history note which is accompanied with black and white photos, so you will be able to learn more about the history of this aircraft, maybe also get some diorama ideas. Here we get the parts map. Note that many parts will not be used, so pay attention which ones are the right parts for the Rufe. And also assembly process starts with the fuselage halves. As you can see here, we work in the cockpit area. You will have to paint some parts in advance because later it will be difficult to reach these areas. And next we continue with the cockpit floor, rear bulkhead. We continue with the instrument panel, and then we have the side panels, side consoles, oxygen bottles, and then everything gets enclosed in the fuselage. But here is the trick, because first we assemble the fuselage halves together, and then the cockpit is getting inserted from below the aircraft. Next we continue with the wing parts, and here, well, the whole process is somewhat straightforward, I would say. You don't have to drill something, you don't have to modify anything, and here we join everything together. I can see that here it's written that we also should add some weight in the nose area for the balancing. I guess otherwise it will be slightly tilting on the floats, so pay attention to this. Note that the engine is assembled out of several parts. I do not see any PE parts involved here, surprisingly, but there are some decals for the stencils on the engine. Here we can see exactly what I was talking about. This is the cowling assembly process with help of this large template. So you combine all these panels together, no position elements involved, only this template, which is somewhat smart design, I would say. Next we start assembling the floats. So first is the main float. As you can see, you can also get the special leather on this float. And then we continue with canopy parts. We also install the target sight, and also, yes, there is the special stand for the aircraft included. And as you can see, it can be depicted right on this stand. Next we have the masks application guide. So these large circles were actually meant for the wheels on the transportation stand, or transport stand, if I can say it so. And we start with the marking guide. So first 2 aircraft is from August 1942. Next we continue with the February 1943. Again, 2 aircraft from the same period. And then we have 2 more from July 1943 and October 1943. Both are classic green camouflages, so nothing, I would say, unusual. This is something you expect from Japanese aircraft. Here we have September 1944 aircraft, and this one is from March 1944. And here on the last page you will find the stenciling guide for this aircraft. So again, I remind you that do not be lazy and apply all of the symbols, because it's a 1/48 scale after all, so it will be noticeable. So this kit should be already available, but here's the trick, because it's a limited edition, so it can be sold out really quickly, and I would recommend to hurry if you would like to get it in your own collection. You can get it on official Eduard website, of course, and I will be happy to hear your opinion about this release. Do you like it, and what do you think about this aircraft type? Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also support us, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.